I am about to finish my breakfast in a supermarket cafe in London, and then we're going to go round and have a look at Stratford station. I'm going to share some of my memories of the place. I was born in 1969 and was born in Forest Gate. I've lived in Leytonstone most of my life, but Stratford has always been my nearest mainline station. My nearest, what we could call former British Rail station, was Leytonstone High Road on what is today's Gospel Oak to Barking route. But Stratford was where all the mainline trains were as my nearest station, perhaps within less than 2 miles of where I've always lived, more likely a mile. And we'll start looking at the station by having a look at the site of the old bus station. This is the exit to the shopping centre. When it was built in 74, by Subway is where you had toilets, and here Burger King was a big ramp down to an underground subway that linked across, and there was also big stairs here. These were filled in during the 1990s as Stratford station began to expand. This is Stratford bus station. There's been a bus station here on this site since at least the early 1970s, 1973. And many people will remember there used to be a multi-storey car park here, and the bus station was on the ground floor. That subway I mentioned would have been underneath roughly where this zebra crossing is now, and there was a pathway into the bus station and to the station ticket office, which is roughly where the escalators are now and the stairs, but I can't be too accurate from my memories alone. This white tiled structure that I'm zooming in on is part of the original Stratford station ticket office building. The current bus station, which we're looking at now, and the current station entrance, again which we are looking at now, are from the 1990s. This part of the station and this footbridge over to Westfield were built around about 2010-2011 to allow access to Westfield Shopping Centre. This lift is part of the old original access subway from the original tickets office during the 1980s. This subway dates from the 1990s. No, it's not. Right. These platforms, which are used by the Docklands Light Railway, were originally British Rail platforms for the route from North Woolwich through to Lea Bridge, and later ran to Camden Road. In 1985, the route from Richmond to North Woolwich was electrified and put through as one service, replacing trains to Broad Street and replacing the Camden Road North Woolwich diesel service. From here to North Woolwich was closed in 2006, some of it being taken over by the Docklands Light Railway, other parts of the route taken over by the Abbey Wood branch of the Elizabeth line. This footway that you can see was built in the 1990s to allow passengers to be able to get on the Jubilee line platforms, as you can see over on the far side. And here we can see platforms 13, 14 and 15, which makes up the current terminus of the Jubilee line. The Jubilee line from Stanmore was originally part of the Bakerloo line, then it was extended to Charing Cross in the 70s, then extended from Westminster here to Stratford in the late 1990s, and Charing Cross station was abandoned, although the track there remains in situ. And here we have the gateway that gives access to the original Docklands Light Railway routes, which opened in 1987. The other one, which is now behind me, opened in 2011, 24 years later. This tunnel is a 1990s build to allow easier interchange between the Jubilee line and other services at Stratford station. Platform 3A was opened around about 2010-2011, so that passengers arriving on the Docklands Light Railway and Jubilee line could have easier access to the Central line. Arriving trains now open doors on both sides, and we cross through the train onto the original Central line platform, platform 3.
All the doors on both sides of the train, combined with closing doors on both sides of the train.
To our left we can see platform 4, which was originally going to be used by trains operating on a shuttle service to and from London Fenchurch Street via Bow Road Station, which curves off just to the west of Stratford Station. The Docklands Light Railway now uses part of that route. The service never materialised, although trains are sometimes used to divert off the C2C route into Stratford, out to just past Woodrange Park and back into Barking, if their own route is closed for engineering works at any time. This was used for quite a few years by the Docklands Light Railway, but abandoned when they built those platforms over there, as you can now see. Platform 5 was used by Shenfield and Gideon Park services into London Liverpool Street, and for quite a few years services to and from Southend, and I also knew of a service from Witham that would run about once out. These would call here, and passengers could change for many years for what was the Central line only, before the Docklands Light Railway and Jubilee line were ever built. Eastbound Central line, platform 6, for trains to Epping and Hainault via Newbury Park. Part of the 1940s extensions. This is the site of platform 7, which was also going to be proposed to use for the service to Fenchurch Street that never materialised. Platform 8, which is used by services out towards Shenfield on what is the Elizabeth line, what was for many years the Liverpool Street to Shenfield local services, sometimes only going as far as Gideon Park. This shows that platform 8 is quite a long platform. It can accommodate up to 12 car trains, because in years gone by, when Southend services use this platform, they could be up to 12 carriages long. Shenfield services could be 3, 6 or 9 carriages long when they use the class 306, or up to 8 cars when the 315s replace the 306s in round about 1980-81. This is platform 9, which is used by trains running to and from Liverpool Street. Many years ago, platform 9 was actually what is now platform 10, and this platform didn't exist as such because there was no platform for trains to call that. But in 1997-98, major changes were made to stopping services, and services from Norwich, Harwich, Clacton and Southend began to call here at Stratford, and Southend services also called here, transferring from platforms 5 and 8, and it was also extended down to allow passengers to travel to and from the Jubilee line. And this is platform 10, originally platform 9, but was much shorter. Off to the right, where the London Overground trains go, used to be freight only, and perhaps other certain movements, because until Westfield was built round about from I think about 2006 to 2011, you could see quite some way into the far distance the old Stratford depot. But here, and platform 9, as today's platform 10, used to come down to where this junction is on the left, and that you can see as platform 10A used to be platform 10, but they were generally not used very often. So platform 10A, it's not scheduled to have passenger services call here, but it can be used on occasions when perhaps they may need to make a platform change, or during peak hours if the other platforms are busy. They've put passenger services, diverted some passenger services onto this platform when sort of thing like they need to get a late running freight through on platform 10, otherwise it could cause severe congestion. Platforms 11 and 12. Platform 11 is used mostly for trains to either Meridian Water or out to Bishop Stortford or Hertford East, depending on which day of the week it is. Hertford East is normally served either peak hours or on Sundays. Platform 12 is used occasionally because some of the London Overground trains, if you come into platform 10A to the right or platform 11 here, rather than the platforms 16 and 17, which is just off to the left, and we'll be having a look at in a moment. Obviously we can see a services waiting to depart. That is the route out to Tottenham Hale, and also to Orient Way carriage sidings and the Eurostar depot, which is the remnant of any railway service, of any railway industry in Stratford, because where Westfield is off to the left used to be the site of the massive Stratford works. And so the final platforms to look at Stratford, 1 and 2, which were built round about 2010 to 2011 to allow London Overground services, as they were now known as, extending to not just Richmond but to Clapham Junction via the West London line to terminate, because the former platforms which were used for quite a number of years, even though the Stratford to North Woolwich section was closed, they were closed to allow them to be turned over to Docklands Light Railway use, and they started to terminate here on the north side of the station. Some services use platforms 11 and 12, and maybe 10A, but most of the services terminate here at 10 and 11 using class 3 7-8 units. So these are the last two platforms and we've got 378 waiting to depart. But that basically is all the platforms at Stratford station. It used to be just an interchange between the Great Eastern local services to Shenfield and Southend and the Central line. But following the electrification of the North London line in 1985, it began a whole series of changes, which 35 years later in 2022 has seen the Elizabeth line reach Paddington. In 2023 they will be extended to Heathrow. And Stratford Station northern entrance exits, which takes you straight into the Westfield shopping centre.